Hello, you beautiful outposters. How are you doing today? I am doing wonderful myself. I know there's nobody watching at the moment, but I don't care. I just wanted to do a kind of a quick one here to really get some interesting news out of the way. Talk about whatever you guys wanted to talk about, and just have some fun. Of course, this will all be up on the podcast later on, and um, here's the thing. So we did a poll. We asked you guys what you wanted to do. You said we want you to do this on Sunday nights. So we're going to do this on Sunday nights from now on. Except I'm going on a vacation this Friday, and I will be out the next 2 Sundays. But fear not, I am putting together a what do we call it? All right, I'm going to Disney Hollywood Studios. I'm going to take a good look at Galaxy's Edge, and I'm going to get a lot of video footage and put together hopefully something fun and entertaining on the YouTube channel, and really kind of get an idea of whether or not it's worth a damn or not. I know there's a lot of people that haven't been to it, and maybe if they wanted to go to it, they couldn't because COVID and everything else. I don't think it was open that maybe a year, maybe maybe a year or two. I'm not sure when it exactly opened, but I know it didn't do well, and I know it wasn't getting the raves. What I'll be curious to see is that during the closing time, did they have time to go in there and say, okay, nobody likes the sequel stuff. Let's put in OG trilogy stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they did any of that or if it's basically the same as it was, what they've added and that sort of thing. And then also I'm going to be getting the rest of the park as well. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to look at because I am a sucker for some of these theme parks, and I did love back in the day when when they still called it Disney MGM Studios, which seems hilarious now. Um, but now they call it Disney Hollywood Studios. But I did like it. And as far as I know, they still have the two things I remember the most from there, which was the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular and the Star Tours. Star Tours is kind of a motion simulator type ride, but it'll be fun. Okay, let's see here. So some of the news that's going on this week. Uh, First off, I'm going to let you know I'm here because too many of you don't hit the main site, and you don't know it unless I get silly and make sure that I put this on some other places. So fine, I will do that. I've also lost access to the Facebook page. I'm hoping to be able to put that back um, sometime soon. So we'll see. Uh, but I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, I can't talk and actually do things at the same time. For some reason, it's a real problem for me. Uh, I seem to be completely unable to work two things at the same time. Okay, here we go. Reply. All right. So um, we'll get into the fun stuff, which would be the Oscars, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But my God, what a shit show! Um, what's amazing to me, and what I can't seem to understand, is their complete and utter inability to learn. I mean, they just keep doubling down on the stupid, and I don't know why. It's bizarre, um, but that's what happens. So, all right, now we'll get some people to to make fun of me, and that's always fun. Uh, so the Oscars. Well, God, I really don't want to get into the Oscars. Let me look at what else is going on here. Um, oh, celebrate May the 4th without the Mandalorian. Blomkamp has a new movie called Demonic. Romero's Dead saga to get conclusion. It sucked. I don't know. Uh, next week, Star Wars Day, May the 4th, we'll be watching the original trilogy. Um, Disney Plus is encouraging everyone to celebrate by launching Star Wars The Bad Batch, a Clone Wars spinoff, and by getting everyone to watch the Skywalker saga. You notice anyone missing? The Mandalorian and Cara Dune are conspicuous in their absence, as is anyone from episode 7, 8, or 9. Um, I don't know what that means. If they're saying they're shitting on the Mandalorian, that would be the Favreau faction. But if they're shitting on the sequels, then that would be the Kathleen Kennedy faction. I don't know. Maybe it's. I think maybe we might be. Maybe they're reading into it too much because I think it's more about just marketing as best they can their new shit and getting people to watch Disney Plus. And I don't know. It is what it is. They did show. Let me bring this up here if I can. Just give me a second. But they did. I believe it was who? Yes, I am not George Lucas, who's been, by the way, a great addition to the site. And I really appreciate it because you, sir, are helping me do a lot of interesting things with. That's not what I want. Here we go. Now I've got to. That needs to go away. Hey, you know what? What I'm doing? I'm basically just figuring this out as I go. I'm probably going to redo all of this. These boxes and everything, and the thing moving down. I feel like it's all too busy. I feel like it just doesn't really work, and and we need to make this look a little less. I don't know. I was playing around. I'm still experimenting, but I'm probably going to try something different there. So we'll see where it happens there. But I'm not really happy with that, so we'll move on. Um, right, I have to hit this button. I don't know if you guys have ever used Streamlabs. I'm still kind of new at it, so I'm just trying to figure it out as I go along. But it's okay. It's got a lot of things that we can do with it. I just need to kind of keep figuring it out. There we go. That looks good. So let's take a look here. So here are the two posters. One of them is the American poster. One of them is the Chinese poster. And anybody who thinks that the left, whatever you want to call them, if you think they're on your side, minorities, I want you to take a look at Finn in the American one and Finn in the Chinese one. Boy, they bent over backwards to please their Chinese overlords as soon as they could, didn't they? And they definitely minimized him quite a bit. So, and this is what gets me into the Oscars. You know, it, it was it was a complete and utter shit show. And the reason why it was a complete and utter shit show is because it's not just all the woke garbage and then look down on pretty much all their audience like we're a bunch of trash. We're a bunch of racist trash. We're a bunch of stupid racist trash. But they don't even believe it themselves. You know, the open borders. Did you see the size of the freaking fence that was around it to keep all the homeless out? You know, the most disenfranchised people. Yeah, they gave a shit. They are liars. They are absolute liars. They go to these things, they come out with a swag bag that's apparently worth $200,000 to $250,000. I mean, it's more than most people make in a year, and they just walk out with a swag bag full of that much money. Y'all are disingenuous liars. Sit there and pretend that you're doing stuff for the common man, and you care about the downtrodden. You don't care at all about the downtrodden. You don't believe any of the words you say. You're a bunch of filthy fucking liars. And I don't care whether you're like no borders or we need borders. Understand these people that are preaching to you, they don't have an honest bone in their body. They talk about, oh, we need to, you know, all the women and the trans women and all the women that we you guys have been treating women like your own personal sex toys, see actresses as your personal sex toys since Hollywood began. Are we supposed to take your word for it that you love women and you're for women's rights? You're for women at a right angle. That's what you like. Bent over at the waist. That's what you want, you liars. You're all liars. And I don't know why anybody puts up with them. I don't know why anybody listens to them. They don't believe their own bullshit. They think Twitter is real, and they'll say whatever they think they need to say to feel good about themselves. But most of them don't have. There was not one fully formed brain in that entire room. Not one. They're the worst people. You could go through the pedophilia and everything else that runs through that, and don't take my word for it. This isn't some weird QAnon or whatever that conspiracy is, which I don't know anything about. It's just Corey Feldman. It's just child star after child star, coming. I have no doubt that most of these Me Too moments were real. And they may have thrown Weinstein under the bus. But yeah, they were all in bed with Epstein and whatever was going on. They're all hedonistic, decadent, horrible liars. They don't care about making the world a better place. They just care about their clicks and their pocketbook and their fame. And I guess the authors got like the half, like 10 million, maybe 9 million. It was like the lowest I've ever heard. I mean, a decent episode of a season finale of some shitty sitcom would get more than what they got. There are YouTube channels, not this one, but there are YouTube channels that get more than what they got. And this is supposed to be a big thing. You want to talk about killing the golden goose. And it's not just that we don't like being preached to. It's we know you're all phonies about it. We know you don't buy a word of this shit. You love immigrants so much. Do I see you opening up your $5 million palatial mansions and putting a few of them up? No, I don't see you doing any of that. I don't see one of you doing any of that. Did you donate those swag bags? Did you cash them in, take the 250 and give them to something that would have actually mattered? No, of course you didn't do that, because you're all phonies and liars. And you couldn't wait to have the cops and the armed guards, while calling all the police racist, and Regina, what's her name? I don't even care what her name is. She was not the host, but at least the opening act, so to speak, talking about how she was going to have to take off her heels and go marching if Minnesota didn't come out the way she wanted. Oh, I'm sorry. Like a just trial, like a full-on trial and a jury trial. That you didn't hear any of the evidence, so you just know, and you would have just gone marching if it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, because you saw 20 seconds of video and now you know. You don't know shit. I knew when all the stars started calling the black senator who did his rebuttal speech to Biden, Uncle Tim. I mean, you can't take any of these people seriously, and we need to stop taking them seriously. We need to call them out every 5 seconds. And it's not, again, if you disagree or agree with their politics, That's not the problem for me. Problem is that they don't agree with their own politics. They're full of shit. And they don't they are liars and thieves. That's all they are. There's nothing decent or good about them. All of them. I I, I don't care. I don't care if any of if we see any of their movies again. And of course I will because I want to be entertained to some of it. But I'm not watching their Oscars. I did not watch it this time around. I waited for the aftermath and watched the cringe highlights for entertainment value, but I didn't watch the actual show. I didn't give them any ratings. So, I know that there are some things that are happening. I know there's I think it's a website or something. I don't really know that much about it, but it's called is it called Base Camp? Maybe I cannot remember. Um, but it's really because they basically said, you know what, we're done with the we're done with the woke stuff. We're not talking politics in our place anymore, ever. It's like, wow, really? So he so they won't do it, and like a third of their team of their employees walked. I was like, walk, you babies. Now we'll get some actual people in there that can make sense. I can't remember what this was. It was some sort of uh, tech blog or something. If you know about it, let me know. I know I've read about it, but whenever I get on these streams, I was like, oh, what was that? I forget. So, but screw them all. I don't. Uh, I just don't care. And again, it's one thing if you think honest people are trying to tell you something that you disagree with. I can I can I can put up with that. I could say, all right, these people are loons, but they're well-meaning loons. But and it's not like I didn't know this, but now I mean it just looking at that giant fence with all the police surrounding it and enjoying all their luxuries and talking about the poor and the downtrodden and everything while taking on those 250,000. They I don't know how much more of a liar you could end up being. I don't know how much more of a I just I don't know how much more you could even trust anything out of these people's mouths because it's bizarre. It's bizarre that anybody would listen to any of these wackos. They clearly don't know what they're talking about. They clearly don't have. I don't know. I'm glad nobody watched it. I hope that keeps happening. As Paul would say, as he always says on my videos, suffer. Good, suffer. I've got nothing for you anymore. Um, it looks like so. I saw that there was a new trailer coming out. But I'll tell you one thing I'm really liking that people are starting that we're getting more and more of, and I kind of do it with my videos, but I do like these new retro reviews, or a lot of them. The Wild Bunch, Star Crash, Gene in the Lost City, um, Jaws 3D. That was one they talked about, Jaws 3D. I gotta tell you, I got kind of a soft spot in my heart for Jaws 3D. I don't know why. I mean, maybe because it's terrible. I'm very my is always like my grandparents retired in Florida. My parents retired in Florida. I'm pretty familiar with Florida, at least in the Tampa St. Pete area. But I've gone to SeaWorld, I've gone to a lot of those things. So it was and when I saw that it was actually in Florida. So I was really looking forward to watching this uh to reading this, and the guy gave it 2.5 stars, and I can't blame him. It's not a great movie, but you do get um you get a lot of stuff in it. God, why can't I remember this? who's the chick from God dang it. Oh jeez. She was in Back to the Future. Why can't I remember her name? It's hell getting old, kids. You may want to cut down the drinking because this is what happens to you. Um, Hang on, I'll look it up. Jaws 3D. Okay, here we go. Leah Thompson. Get Leah Thompson in a bikini most of the time. Uh, a very a very limited amount of gore, but the 3D was actually reasonably good. And it's kind of funny because all those movies that they try to do 3D, I think it was Friday the 13th and a couple of others, you could tell that they had to film a lot of stuff. Like they used these two lenses and then they had to film either two 16 millimeters to come up with a 35 millimeter print. And it just didn't come out right. And so when you watch it, it's at least on the 3D stuff, it's really terrible. Um, let's see. It'd be interesting to see what they did. So they production. So they did stereo vision, and then they dropped it after a week for Vision, which they believed was a superior system. The left and right images are well matched, and the photography is clean. But then when you and they used like a polarization. But then when they used the 35 millimeter camera with a 18 millimeter over under 3D lens, so it doesn't work on television because you only get half of a 35 millimeter frame. So in essence, it's just really poor resolution. But think of it like 16 millimeters, and that's why it looks so shitty on TV. It did not look that shitty in the movie theater. I have clear memories of that, and I remember that the arm or the leg coming down and floating in the water. It looked like it was floating in the middle of the theater. They didn't do that bad a job, but yeah, I mean, it's funny that every 20 years, these 3D 25 years, they got these big 3D rollouts. First we did it in um, well, we did it in the 50s, right? It was all the red, blue stuff. And then they brought it back in the early 80s. It was really 83. For some reason, Amityville 3D, it's just 83 was the year of 3D. 83D. And then after that, they did nothing happened until you get to 2010 or 2009. So that's what, third 28 years. Yeah, 25, 28. So yeah, right around in there. Um and you get Avatar, and then there was that 3D phase actually lasted a while because I remember that went on through 2014, maybe 2015. I think by 2015 it kind of puttered out. And thank God, because I tell you, I don't care how good the technology is, you might have one movie that looks really good in 3D, and Avatar was probably it, and everything else looked like crap. And I remember them selling 3D TVs and all this kind of stuff, and it's just all I just hate it. I don't want to watch a movie in 3D. I really don't. Um, there was nothing like watching Avatar on your regular TV to realize, wow, this kind of sucks. So, um, yeah. So there you go. That retro review. I suggest you guys check it out. Um, dum da doo 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 doo. It's very quiet tonight. See, you guys all vote for this, and then when I stick to it, y'all disappear. I see how you are. It's just a big joke on poor drunken Yoda. I get it. I'm fine with it. That's fine. I'm not bitter or what do you guys think of this new crew? Is there something kind of icky about this idea of remaking clear villains into anti-heroes? I mean, Maleficent, right? I mean, it sounds like malevolent, and she basically just was evil. And then they turned her into a misunderstood rape victim. In essence, that's what she was. A misunderstood rape victim. It's really ridiculous. And then now they're doing Cruella, and I'm sure Emma Stone is having a great time making the movie, enjoying making the movie, and that kind of stuff. But really, is this where we're going now? We're going to turn the. I mean, she was a puppy murderer. Let's face it. She was a puppy murderer. You know, making dog fur coats is pretty. First of all, I can't imagine that dog fur is worth as much as, say, mink or or fox or I don't know, any of the various furs that you use. But secondly, I mean, you're murdering puppies. She didn't wait for the dogs to grow up. She had to use the small puppies because they had nicer fur. So she had to use more of them. So she's just slaughtering puppies. I mean, you know, you slaughter puppies. Isn't that the pretty much the yep, that's evil. You don't get much more evil than that. Now she's some sort of weird anti-hero. I mean, her name is Cruel. Cruel Devil. That's her name. And now we're making her an anti-hero. I mean, this is the kind of weird shit that I just don't know what's going on with these companies. And I know some of it is like just throw shit at the wall, make it stick, and try to get some butts in the seat with a recognizable name. That part of it, but still, it's like you know, take a chance on something, anything. I don't care. Uh, Citizen Kane toppled as the greatest ever. Oh, it's toppled by Rotten Tomatoes, and it was toppled by Paddington. I don't know that Rotten Tomatoes is really a good measurement of good bad on movies. I mean, it's first of all, it's really got too much recency bias in the tomato score. It's always all the reviews are done when the movie comes out. There are some movies where they have some retro reviews, or some people have gone back and changed some reviews, but for the most part, that's only for a select few. There's very few that come back that are really reviewed correctly or re-looked at after time goes by. But I just I don't know. I don't care that Rotten Tomatoes thinks that Paddington is the best movie as Citizen Kane. Whatever. The AFI I think still has it up there. I'm not sure that Citizen Kane is the best movie ever made. I mean, I would put Casablanca well ahead of it. Or what else? Hell, I'd put Wizard of Oz ahead of it. I'm sorry, Citizen Kane is a great movie. It is, but it's a little bit of work. It's not something you sit down, and just want to enjoy a nice, good story. It's something you have to be in a bit of a mood for. I think I don't want to take away from it or say that it's not a great movie. I just don't know. Is it really the greatest? Is it the greatest because of inertia at this point? I don't know. I feel like there's other movies that get short shrift, but I do know that there aren't going to be any new movies that are going to replace it anytime. What else we got here? Um, oh, I guess yeah. There's a He-Man problem. I'm not sure what's going on there. He-Man exits the Masters of the Universe after being lined up by He-Man. Noah Centino is exited, so I guess they just lost the main star. So who are they going to get? I don't know. They'll get The Rock. The Rock does everything. Who we can? The Rock does everything. Oh, I did watch this weekend. I did watch Nobody. Is it Nobody or Mr. Nobody? I think it's just Nobody. It's with Bob Odenkirk. Yeah, just Nobody. Bob Odenkirk. Um, Boy, I really liked it. I really liked it, but you knew there was a but coming. Um, I'm just not sure about Bob Odenkirk in the role as the tough guy enforcer that everybody's frightened of because he still looks too much like a kind of a schlub of a guy. And that's what makes him so great in like things like Better Call Saul. And I guess you could say that there's, that you're saying, okay, well, we're kind of flipping the we're we're subverting expectations of what you think an action star would be. Yeah, I get that. They kind of did that with Bruce Willis, but Bruce Willis could still pull it off. Uh, Bob Odenkirk, I don't know. There's just something. It has a very much a. It's like if John Wick was set in the real world instead of its weird fairy tale world that it's stuck in. Um, and instead of being just awesome with guns, he just won't give up. And I don't know if he's. I mean, it's a good story and it's well done, but it's very simple. There's nothing there's nothing complicated about this or anything like that, which is good in my opinion because then um you don't have a lot of like the story made complete sense. Things moved from one piece to the other. There wasn't anything where I was going, what the hell is he doing? So I like that part of it, everything. And I really love Bob Odenkirk. Don't get me wrong. I think he's great. I just wasn't quite sold on him in this role. I might be willing to give it another shot. I may let it simmer for a bit and take another look at it. But I did enjoy it. A lot of people ask if it's in the John Wick universe. I mean, clearly it's not really. It's more of a toned down version of that kind of thing. Um, I don't know. I really liked it. I guess I wanted something a little bit more. There was something not quite correct. I don't know. Something that was missing. Um, and that's hard to do. I complain about it, but I'm like, oh, well, what would you do? I'm not really sure. I mean, the story was tight, crisp. Um, I mean, I guess what I wasn't clear on is that I guess he retired from being this FBI audit. They called it an auditor, but really he's just an assassin. That's all he is. And he wanted to retire and have a family and get out of that business. He mentions that he may have overcorrected, like there's something in him that has to do this, which that has a lot of John Wick overtones in it. But then, okay, did he also like I don't he didn't seem happy in his life, I don't know why he and his wife were estranged and why they weren't really like he said I really miss you, but what caused that? He wasn't really doing anything that I thought was terrible behavior towards her, and she didn't seem to be really pissed at him or anything. They just were, which I know happens to marriages. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I'm just like, well, why? What happened between these two? If you want me to make me care about his about what's going on in that, then you got to make me understand why that's going on in that. And that part, I think they could have done more with. Um, you definitely wanted him to protect his family, but I wonder, okay, well, why isn't he closer with his family? Um, his son is irritated at him because of how he handled the burglary, but I get the feeling there's something going on there. I just feel like there was some setup that was missing that was too much in favor of let's be a little Edgar Wright with quick cuts and whoosh, 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 kind of stuff. And I didn't see enough of the whys and the some of the emotional setup to get us to this point. I feel like there's an act one or a act uh, 0.5 missing that it really could have used. Man, the sun is finally coming in. It has been cloudy all day, and now it decides to come in and blow up my lighting. I hate everything and everyone. So, um, I I don't know. I don't get me wrong. You should see it. It's a good movie. It's it's well put together. It's not full of anything. It's not trying to doesn't have a bunch of messages in it. It's not trying to be. It's not stupid. It's not trying to ram something down your throat. It's decent. It's good. You should watch it. Um, your your mileage may vary, but my only that's really my only nitpick is I wanted to see more of why his life was the way it was to get to this point. I feel like I got in the middle of it. Like, with John Wick, they set it up perfectly. His wife had died. She gave him a puppy. And you watched him take a little bit to get to love the puppy because his wife got it for him, of course, but that he was learning to feel and to love again. That's all you needed. That set up. You got emotionally involved. So when they killed the puppy, we're like, John, kill everybody. Kill everybody. I don't care if you kill the woman in the wheelchair down the street. Everybody dies now. Well done. That's what you needed. I think the other two John Wicks got just kind of just way too convoluted in whatever weird world this is, this weird fairy tale land of assassins. But that first one, that the setup was perfect, and then the rest of it was just great action. That was missing for me in Nobody. There just wasn't this. Okay, I guess he's unhappy, but is he? Or he seems to want his family, but or does he? I don't. Is he just trying to stay away from the life, or is he trying to get back into the life? I don't know. It was a little muddled. That's all I'm saying. It wasn't very clear. So if they had done that better, then I think we would have had a lot more fun with it. But like I said, your mileage may vary. Uh, Paul, suffer pedos of Hollywood, you say. I would agree. I hope they all die in a fire. I really do. I'm tired of these liars, these decadent, perverse liars. Let's see. The Romera's Dead series. So you had Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Day of the Dead. I don't think I've ever seen Day of the Dead. I've seen the first two, but it's been so long. Zombie stuff really never did it for me. It's fine. I don't hate it. It's just I'm not really crazy about it. It's just There is a land of the dead. That was the one with was Land of the Dead the one with uh uh why can't I remember anybody's name anymore? He was in Speed. He was a bad guy in Speed. Dennis Hopper. Yeah, that was the one with Dennis Hopper where they had some sort of mall or something. Romero really loved to shit on capitalism. He really hated it for whatever reason. He did not like capitalism. So, yeah, it even though it took good care of him, for whatever he got to make movies, he probably never would have got to make. But okay, fine. So I guess they're gonna make okay, so Suzanne Romero has confirmed that he was quietly working on finale for the whole series before he passed, and she's going to meet with directors. Call it Twilight of the Dead. If it kills Robert Pattinson as Edward, I might give it a shot. If it goes down that road and kills all the Twilight zombies, I'm just saying. The Meg 2 sets a start date. That'll be fun. Adam Wingard in talks to direct Godzilla vs. Kong sequel. I swear, I would love it if they would make like a big giant wrestling belt for him, and just it's draped over a building. They have to fight for it, and Kong gets to wear the belt. Oh, yeah. It's the little things that make me happy. New teaser for Amazon's The Tomorrow War. I've not seen it yet. I'll have to look at this. I'm not reading my own site very well. I did. I did watch. I went back and I watched an old. Well, it's not that old. It's like 2002. It's an anime called Metropolis, and it was. I was surprised how much I really still loved it. It's a very quirky, odd. It's not. I mean, it is anime, but it doesn't quite feel like an anime. The depictions of all the characters and the people are very cartoony as compared to anime, which usually is very flowing and can be very realistic. They all look very cartoony, but damn the backgrounds and the artwork and the detail in this just it blew me away as much as when I saw it the first time. And I don't. It might be slightly. I don't want to say it's not a remake of Metropolis from like 1920s, the silent film, but I think there is some little nods to it, maybe here and there. You do have a robot girl, and she's supposed to take and control the city, and she ends up flipping out and learning to love or something like that. I don't know. It's it's really good. I really liked it, and I'm not that big an anime fan. I mean, I'm like, it's fine. I mean, anime is well to me. It's all about whether the movie is. To me, anime is just like movies. I love movies, but I don't love all movies. I like there's some anime I really really love. I mean, anything from Studio Ghibli, I'm down. I think Princess Mononoke is still my favorite anime of all time. Um, Akira is very good, but I do find it kind of off-putting for whatever reason. I not it's just it's so bizarre what's going on in that, and some of the characters are pretty damn unlikable. But I understand, from an artwork perspective and from its place in history. I like the movie. I just don't love it. Um, Ghost in the Shell is it's fine. It's fine. But man, those Studio Ghibli movies. I mean, I love My Neighbor Totoro. I mean, it's just a sweet, nice, well done movie. I like Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind a lot. My daughter loves that one too. Um, Spirited Away is fantastic, and thank you, Joe. Land of the Dead with Dennis Hopper. Yeah, I finally figured it out. Um, and I really liked Castle in the Sky. But of all of them, I still think Princess Mononoke is my favorite. I don't know. It's just something about that story. Everything worked for me in that one. And if you're not familiar with anime, or if you think anime is all, I mean, this stuff is weird too in its own way. But if you think anime is all like, I don't know, Pokemon or Ultra Tech stuff, or some of the weird stuff that you may have seen, vampire stuff and all that kind of stuff, Inuyasha. Um, that first of all, it's a little short sighted because anime has as much variety as American movies, in my opinion. I mean, there's just as much good stuff out there as there is weird stuff. Maybe there's a little bit more weird stuff than say your typical um, American movies, but overall, there's something I think for everybody. So I really love those Studio Ghibli ones. Um, I think Grave of the Fireflies was amazing, but it's one you can only see once because after that you'll kill yourself if you see it twice. You will be It'll be like M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening. It's like these are the people who saw it twice, and they're just walking into the lawnmowers and stuff. It's so horrifying. It's so sad, but it's a great movie. Um, then there's what else? What else anime do I like? I liked and I love One Punch Man. I think it's a great superhero satire. I think it's fantastic. Um, it's funny. It's genuinely funny. And if you haven't watched One Punch Man, that's a series. Um, I'm not really that big on other series, so I mean, if you guys want to throw some down in the comments for me that you think I might like, given that I've given you the ones that I find enjoyable, the ones I don't find enjoyable, because I wouldn't mind finding one that I might enjoy. Um, I know one I should watch that I haven't, and you guys are probably going to give me all kinds of shit for it, but I've never seen Cowboy Bebop. Is it worth my time? Should I get into it? Should I go ahead and binge it out? Is it as good as they say? Because that's the other thing. I mean, it's like I gotta if I'm gonna get into an anime or any series right now, you gotta put aside the time for it. I did also. I am going to go on a John Carpenter binge. I picked up a bunch of those recently, and I want to because there's a lot that I haven't seen, and I really like Carpenter's work. Uh, One that I know that you may or may not know about. Let me see here if I can find them. Nope, not there. Mm, Nope, not there. Can never find my shit. Okay, what did I do with it? So, okay, give me a second here. But there was one that I thought looked interesting that I didn't know that he had wrote this, but it's called "The Eyes of Laura Mars," and it's not one of the ones he directed, but he did write it, and it wasn't one that I was really aware of. So I wanted to give it a shot because I hadn't seen it. So I wanted to yeah, The Eyes of Laura Mars, and I'm also going to watch Dark Star, which I've never seen. That's from 1974, and that Carpenter did direct, but I guess it's like a sci-fi comedy. So I'm looking through that one. I want to see the original Assault on Precinct 13. I haven't seen that. Eyes of Laura Mars, the original Fog, The Fog. Um, I've never seen that one. Well, let's see. Big Trouble in Little China, of course, I've seen. The Thing, of course, I've seen that one. But I hadn't seen Prince of Darkness in 1987. I hear it's a kind of an overlooked, underappreciated gem, and the same within the Mouth of Madness. It's worth doing a shot. And then finally, I'm gonna wrap it up with the Ghosts of Mars, which I'm just more curious about than anything, just to be a completist. Um, and of course, there's Halloween and those kinds, but I'm looking forward to trying out some of these because I hadn't watched most of them. Then I'm also still working my way through James Bond. I'm going to finish part three up in the next couple. Well, I probably won't finish up this week, which means it won't be until I get back, unless I have some time to dick around with it while I'm on vacation. But it's going to be a few more weeks for that one. Um, and then, of course, we'll try to do these on a regular schedule. And I will have the video, the on location video that I'm going to do over at Disney Hollywood Studios. So I've got my good old camera, and we're gonna work this out. But shouldn't take me too much longer to at least get part three, and then I'm going to kind of take a break, and then I'll get started in on the Roger Moores. Not looking forward to that. Um, Though I will admit, The Spy Who Loved Me was good. A View to a Kill was not. Most of the rest of them are not. Live and Let Die. I've already seen that one. I didn't. I was. Man with the Golden Gun. I hear is not good. Um, Moonraker. I thought was atrocious. I know people like it. I think it's. I think it's terrible. I don't remember For Your Eyes Only. I don't know if that's good, bad, indifferent. I've heard Octopussy and View to a Kill are bad. And then we get into Timothy Dalton, which I think are both good. And Pierce Brosnan, which I think GoldenEye, I have a feeling I'm going to, everybody says GoldenEye is the good one, and then the others are not so good. I'm wondering if GoldenEye is going to be that good, or as good as I remember. And then you get into the Daniel Craig ones, so that'll be fun. What else we got? What else we got that I've enjoyed that I haven't talked about? I don't think there's much. I talked about Boss Level. I did watch that recently. Um, and I did put a review on the site, so that one was really good. All right, so but you guys are all quiet. You don't have anything much to talk about. I'd be happy to talk about anything with you guys, but just don't have a lot of people on tonight. So I'm probably going to cut it short. It's about an hour, which is good, and let you know that I'm going to be a little unavailable after this. Really, after Thursday night, that's when we get on the plane. So Thursday night, I need the vacation, guys. Between trying to keep the site running and doing all that kind of stuff, and then my daily life. My daughter just moved out. She's in her own apartment now. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking her bedroom, which is bigger. It's more of an office on the main floor, so then I can make more noise down there and nobody will hear me. And it's just bigger than this. So I'm hoping to have a little bit more decoration, that kind of stuff. And I'm also working on finally building myself a new PC, which will be good. So all in all, thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys on the next stream.